Before I get to all the serious business of war and all that jazz, I need to share with you just a little story about anti-Israel lefties getting a very big mugging by reality. By now, of course, everybody is well familiar with climate crusader Greta Thunberg and her attempt to sail to Gaza to, quote-unquote, block the blockade. Well, Israel responded to this effort with a hearty, "How dare you!" and kicked her out of the country, sending her home in that back row of the plane, in that back row that doesn't recline, stuck next to the galley and the toot. Hope you had a nice flight, Greta, and well done, Israel. 10-10, no notes, as the kids say. But oddly, this cautionary tale hasn't stopped others from trying their hand at a little terrorism of themselves. Meet the geniuses behind something called the Global March to Gaza. Yes, that's right, you heard correctly, who have decided that it would be a real swell idea at a high old time to fly to Egypt and from there try to march into the Gaza Strip on foot to open up the territory to humanitarian relief. Here you see some of their supporters cheering those heading off from Amsterdam's Schiphol airport. And boy, that guy in the blue shirt, look at him there on the right, he really looks like he'd be a lot of fun at parties. But, of course, these guys forget that not long after the October 7th attacks, Egypt sealed its border with Gaza. Why? Well, because they didn't want to wind up like Lebanon did in 1970, or later than that, or Jordan in 1970, or anywhere else. The Palestinians and the PLO went to spread their special sunshine across the Middle East. So how do you think the Egyptians reacted to these silly white Western liberals presuming to undo their own blockade of Gaza? About as well as you would expect. Yes, that's right. Everyday Egyptians decided that they would beat the ever-loving you-know-what out of these activists with belts and shoes and whatever else they had to hand. Not to be outdone, Egyptian officials themselves were not too pleased either.
There's people in masks. There's people in masks. Please, someone screen record this. There's people in masks dragging people out.
I'm sorry, but can these people just decide whether or not they like masks or not? Honestly, it's so hard to keep up these days. But anyway, what's the old expression about it taking a heart of stone not to laugh at this stuff? Well, here's more from one of the participants.
This is an emergency. We have just been violently dragged into the buses here at the first checkpoint on the way to Ismailia. We were sitting quietly and not doing anything. We were debating that we would leave soon in taxis back to Cairo because we did not break any law. And all of a sudden, several people stormed in and they started to push people and drag them violently outside.
Anyway, finally, the mob said farewell in the classy manner for which the activist left is known. Here they are saying farewell to Egypt with a song.
You Israel! You Israel! You Egypt! You Egypt!
Anywho, the reason I bring this up is because you know this really just feels like a progressive version of European colonialism, with the great white saviors coming down from the continent to tell the Egyptians how to run their country and their border. But guess what? Our European friends wound up on the pointy end of decolonisation as the Egyptians told them, quite rightly, what's the saying? Go back where you came from.